We all remember growing up, right? All its awkwardness, the growing body, the braces, the acne. But when we grow up, we find ourselves. Our clique, our squad, our whatever. We even find our best friends and maybe our first loves if we're lucky. But what happens when the relationship dies? Maybe they steal or lie to you. Maybe they hurt you. How long do you allow them to hurt you like that? A day, a week, months, years. It's the emotional trauma of it, and the thoughts that whirl and sputter in your brain. I remember the first time I ever experienced something like that. The thought that went through my head constantly, like a spinning wheel was, why me? Why was I picked for all this hurt? This doesn't make sense. And that's one of the many effects. If I'm going to be honest, it sucks. Like a lot. Now I get your apprehension. Abuse is a heavy topic. Out of 100 people, statistically, 49 of them have experienced some form of abuse. That's almost 50. Does that strike fear in your hearts? Does that make you uncomfortable and squirm? For me, it's a grim reminder that this happens. This is a common thing, and it's a common thing that's swept under the rug. The truth of the situation is not all abuse is seen equal. This isn't to say that physical abuse is somehow less than it. But when you think of abuse, you usually think of bruise marks and scratches. You don't think of crying and, I'm sorry, I can't make the party, I have to be with my boyfriend. We don't think of manipulation tactics. And then when we don't, it just leads to more and more cases of it. And these tactics lead to trauma. Trauma's a tricky thing, though. And the fact that it affects people differently. Trauma is the reaction your mind conjures up after a specific instance that would be considered terrifying. It can cause and come in many forms. You can flash back or dissociate. The one thing that is definite is some good old negative thoughts. I remember sitting in therapy, because of course I go to therapy after all of that, wasn't expecting not to. I discussing all the bad things, all the thoughts, and that mind-numbing image, and I kept thinking, I said it, why me? Is it luck? Is it fate? Is it some angry God shaking his fist at me? And I got the truth. The truth that hurts as much as a broken leg. The people who were emotionally abused, the people who experienced trauma were most likely vulnerable people. And I was, by definition, a vulnerable person. I was a scared little girl. I was empathetic, kind-hearted. I forgave everyone, even if they hurt me, even if they broke my legs. I'd be like, I'm sorry. I was an easy target. And easy targets are, well, easy to spot. Easy to take advantage of. I was a brown rabbit in winter. Foxes can find me. And I wish I could end this talk with, and now I realize my own self-worth, and I got better, and now I'm tough as nails, but I'm going to be honest, the exact opposite happened. I notice things easily. I'm jumpy. If you touch my back or startle me, I will start crying. I'm still a rabbit, even though I don't have to be. It's common for people to fall apart after being so tightly wounded up for years. But this is big, but I'm still empathetic. I'm still kind-hearted. Not all has been lost in the wreckage. And I need you, yes you, whether you're sitting in front of me or looking through a digital screen. I need you to know this. This isn't luck. This isn't a punishment. This isn't an angry God shaking his fist at you. Whatever happened, it isn't your fault. We were all innocent. We were all vulnerable. We can't control that. That's just how we're born. And it's okay. It's okay to be angry and sad and hurt, because that's part of recovery. And it's long and it hurts, and it's the worst thing to think about. But recovery, it comes. Because once it's over, the snow on the ground begins to melt, and spring begins to grow.